So you're thinking about moving to Charlottesville? Well, here are 10 secrets that have come to my attention. For me, they're not a secret because I've lived here, I've grown up here, and as a realtor, I knew all of these, but these are often things that you're not going to find in the Living in Charlottesville brochure or the Chamber of Commerce. Charlottesville is nothing but awesome. So this is my PSA to you about the 10 things that I want you to know. Number 1, ticks. You know, those little creepy, crawly, flat boogers that blow up because they suck. Anyways, ticks, not only pesky creatures, but they also carry diseases. Several types of ticks. Some of them are known to transmit disease. Here are the most common ticks and the diseases they can carry. If you're a hypochondriac, you might want to fast forward through this part. Number 1, very often called a deer tick. It's the black leg tick. It's the primary carrier for Lyme's disease. It can cause symptoms such as a fever, headaches, fatigue. Normally there's a characteristic skin rash. It can also transmit a few other things as well, but the most common, Lyme disease, which can really be a prolonged and become an unseen issue. Normally what we find, we go to our doctor and we've been having issues and there's no obvious, they actually will do a Lyme's disease test because it really does encompass so many issues. Next one, Lone Star tick. It can transmit several diseases, but the biggest one, the one that scares me, is alpha-gal. It's a syndrome. I know several people, actually one of my good realtor friends, she got bitten by Lone Star and had to deal with alpha-gal. So as she said, she could not eat of the hoof. So she could not have anything that had a hoof because the allergy would cause issues. And she got it from a tick bite. But she could not eat anything like beef, pork, but she could eat chicken and seafood. So it was anything of the hoof. This is very real, and we're seeing it more and more. Number 3 is going to be the American dog tick, commonly found in grasses and wooded areas. This can actually, a bite from this tick can actually lead to Rocky Spotted Mountain fever. Next up, very similar, brown dog tick, primarily infest dogs, but it can occasionally bite humans. It can transmit Rocky Spotted Mountain fever, although it is less common. Gulf Coast tick. Now these are found in the whole southeastern part of the U.S., but this tick can transmit a form of spotted fever. It's important to take preventative measures when spending time outdoors. That's all. That's it. Using insect repellents, wearing long sleeve pants and shirts and a hat, performing tick checks, and promptly removing any attached ticks. If you experience symptoms afterwards, you seek medical attention. So, and then some of the other stuff that we do is, as far as the hat, the shirts, the long sleeve shirts and pants, you wear light colors so you can see the dark ticks. The other thing, especially if you're going to be out hiking and in the woods, is you tuck your pants into your socks and then you wrap like packing tape, but backwards so the sticky side is out, around near the bottom of your leg. So if they do attach, they get stuck on the sticky tape. Now you know. Good times, good times. This is why you want to give me a call and reach out. As a realtor who has grown up here, I help folks relocate and sell in the Charlottesville area. I don't do rentals. I also I've had several requests to help with employment. As someone who is actually self-employed as a realtor, I don't have any special connections. You can watch some of my employment videos to give you ideas, but there's nothing in particular I can do to help. All right, moving right along. Now that we've gotten over the creepy crawly ticks, let's talk about allergies. I'm not talking allergies to ticks. This one does crack me up because it is so very, very true. And you see it on message boards, you read it on Reddit, you read it in Facebook groups, it is what it is, but it is so very, very true. We're talking seasonal allergies, but our season really honestly is February to November. We're talking grass, tree, mold. We're talking outdoor mold. Ragweed is a big, big one. Folks who have never had allergies will move to this area and they will get struck down with allergies. I personally take a nightly over-the-counter antihistamine, and it's just what you do. So now you probably can tell why, some days I sound more stuffy than other. But another really cool one, and a much more tasty one, a lot of people will actually eat a spoonful of local unprocessed honey, because all the stuff that is setting you off is all the good stuff the bees use to make honey. So it's sort of like putting that into your system and slowly acclimating your system. So instead of a allergy shot, your allergy shot comes with a yummy spoonful of honey. There you go. The more you know. Number 3 on the list of things that we as locals know, it's just not something we talk about because we think everybody knows it. So they're not hidden. They're just sort of like, well, yeah, I knew that. Did you know this? Yeah, of course I knew that. So that's why I'm trying to keep you in the know. Number 3 is very, very real, especially if you're from up north. If you're from Florida, you can forward past this. Texas, forward past this. All of my southern friends, this one is not a big deal for you. But for my northern friends, you will miss the snow. Last year was supposed to be so bad. And actually, I think I mentioned that in some of my videos that I was so excited because it's been a few years since we've had a good snow. So I pulled this up. This is reality. Last winter, so 23-24, it was reported we had several snow events. January 15th and 16th, periods of snow. January 19th, followed by showers. Now, the University of Virginia did record just over 3 inches of snow total in January of 2024. So there's potential for that winter white wonderland. And we do like that. We love that. And PSA, everybody here freaks out. Not like, oh, freak out, but like, ooh, it's going to snow. We need to get bread, toilet paper, and milk. Because I guess you're going to eat a lot of French toast or something while you're snowed in. Was last year normal? Yeah. The year previous, this is what we had. January 8th, wintry mix. January 22nd, sleet. February 1st, period of snow. March 12th, intermittent wet snow. 21 to 22, this is all it would say. January saw multiple snowstorms with significant snow throughout the month, accumulating to more than 20 inches. It was never 20 inches at once. It was like 2 here, 3 here, 1 here kind of thing. 2021, 2022. The last largest snowstorm in Charlottesville occurred on December 19th into the 20th, 2009. The area received 21 inches of snow. So it can happen, but on a regular, you're going to miss it. Even our ski areas, our 2 major ski resorts, they can't even make enough snow because the temperature is just too warm for it to stay around. So if you're a snow bunny, you're going to miss the snow. Right now, the prediction is for La Nina winter for this year, so 24 into 25, predicted by NOAA. Again, this is what they said last year, so I'm not holding my breath. But this is a perfect example as to why you need to reach out This area is not for everyone. I am not the Chamber of Commerce. It is not my job to sell you a house. I'm a matchmaker. I am going to connect you with your best home for your best needs. I've talked people out of buying houses when they thought it was the be-all do-all. It's like, no, here's why this is lipstick on a pig, and you're not buying this house. But this is why you need to connect with me so that I can be on your side. Number 4 is, again, this is something we know about, but if you're not familiar, and especially if you're coming here for hiking and biking in the woods and all this kind of stuff, we have plants that can make you regret moving here. Poison ivy, prevalent in both suburban and wooded areas. Poison oak, found in really wooded areas. And poison sumac, found in wet wooded areas. You have to be aware of these things because it's not everyone is allergic to them. So as a kid, man, I was highly allergic. I missed days of school because I'd be out playing in the woods because that's what we did. And I would get poison ivy and I would be covered head to toe and have to go on steroids kind of bad. Some people can be like, la, 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 and it doesn't bother them at all because it's an allergic reaction. So it's not going to affect everybody. But some folks, it can get you into real trouble. Also, what I want to tell you, so you have it in your mind, is that the oils that actually cause it, because obviously it's not the plant, it's the oils in the plant. The oils can actually stay active for up to, I think they say, a year. Why would this matter? Think of garden gloves. You're out, you're working in the garden, you're working in the yard, you're wearing gloves, and you go like this, and then all of a sudden you have a rash. And not instantly, but so you go, you do everything, but you take your gloves off. Next week you go out and you grab your gloves and you put them up, we'll say, under your arm to go carry some other stuff. That oil is now on your hands and it's active, and now it's also in your armpit because you threw your gloves up under there. So just mentally be aware that if there is exposure, you're going to want to wash everything in hot water to dissipate and get rid of the oil. Next one up, mosquitoes. Now, mosquitoes can be affected by weather, period. Obviously, duh. Rainfall, proximity to standing water, and there are ways you can deal with them. Overall, if you're from an area, because I think they do this in a lot of the city centers and also down where there's a lot of water, you see trucks that drive and spray for mosquito, and they're actually spraying so that the mosquito don't develop, but we don't do that here. I think I remember as a kid seeing one of those trucks once in this area. We don't do that here. So my house backs up to a retention pond. And when we bought our house, it had been a very wet couple of years. And the retention pond, the drainage had not been taken care of. So in essence, the retention pond was a marsh and truly backed up our entire property. We had horrible, horrible mosquitoes, but we actually dealt with it. There's a couple ways. So one, obviously, you empty all standing water. Think of things like bird baths, plant catchers, when you water the plant and the water just sits there, buckets that you might have like dog toys in. Anything that can catch water can harvest and produce mosquitoes. So you just get rid of all the standing water. So in our case, obviously we couldn't empty, actually we did empty the retention pond. So we cleared out the drain so that it could drain better. We also took those mosquito donuts. They look like a little white donut, and we tossed those in several of the areas. But the number one thing we did to deal with our mosquito problem, we put up bat houses. And honestly, I've had bat houses at my past couple of homes. I think they're wonderful. They're absolutely fabulous. And if you have bat houses, realistically, They're not going to be trying to come into your attic to roost. So that releases another issue too. So bat houses. I also think bats are really cool. Anyways, mosquitoes. Number 6 on our list of things I think you really need to be told about and reminded about, updated about. Humidity. Again, this is not something that's new to us. I don't know what, I think a lot of people, especially those coming from the Midwest, northern Midwest even, because it's a much drier, humidity. It's real. We're talking real. And girls and gents with curly hair, it's very real. What I want you to remember is, it is not Louisiana, it is not Florida, but July and August can really make you appreciate air conditioning. Again, it is what it is. You go from your air-conditioned house to your air-conditioned car to your air-conditioned office, but if one of those is missing, yeah, life can be really miserable. The problem is, so yesterday, for example, it's around the early August. So the temperature got up to 92 degrees, but with the humidity, it felt like it was over 105. That's what I'm talking about. Now, again, at night, we will cool off. This is one thing I was taught by some of my fabulous viewers. They're from Texas, and she was like, oh yeah, at least y'all cool off. She said there, it's like somebody turns the temperature up and it just stays there until November. So we do cool off. We get hot by, the hottest is afternoon. So like 1, 2, 3 o'clock, but then we start to cool off after 5 o'clock. So it's ebbs and flow, but humidity is real. Oh, humidity. Next up, hail storms. Hailstorm experiences are sporadic. Typically, obviously, during severe thunderstorms. Over the past few years, the area has had a few reports of hail annually. I looked it up. In 2020, there were 3 reports of hail in the entirety of 2020. In 2021, 22, and 23, each of those years had 4 hail reports. Now, sometimes the hail can be momentary and very, very small, like really, like you're like, what is that sound? And then you see it's almost like a snowflake. It's because the hail is so small hitting your windshield. And you're like, oh, it's hailing. But then other times it can be larger. The frequency is not high, but when it does occur, especially if it's a larger hail size, it can cause damage to vehicles, roofs, and for us, also agricultural crops. Okay, I swear this area is awesome. We've only covered 7. We've got a few more to go. Someone who has grown up here, moved away, come back, lived around the area. I love this area, and that's actually why I became a realtor, honestly, because I want to share that with you, and I want to express that Charlottesville is not right for everybody, and if one of the first 7 has been an issue, maybe not right for you, but these are things my clients and friends have told me really shocked them, and they were not expecting these when they relocated here. So that's why I'm doing this video. But if I can help you, email me. Let's connect. Let's see if Charlottesville's right. Next up, number 8. Nothing crawly, nothing creepy, nothing itchy, but annoying. Number 8, we have state-mandated car inspections. We're not talking just used cars. We're talking if you own a car or a motorcycle or a truck or whatever, every year, whether it's brand new or whether it's 30 years old, well, you can do an antique tag, but that's something else. You have to get the car inspected by a state licensed mechanic certified in Virginia inspections. Annual safety inspections are due by the end of the month, indicated by, on the windshield, by a mounted inspection sticker. Drivers can be ticketed for not having a valid inspection sticker. So the inspection process includes a 24-point inspection. And from start to finish, if everything's easy and going well, it takes the mechanic 20 to 30 minutes to complete. Common reasons that could fail you include worn out brake pads, burnt out light bulbs, worn out tires, broken windshield wipers, low tire tread, so your tires have worn and they're too bad, and even exhaust leakage. Now, it's not outrageous for cost, because it's going to cost you. If you are a motorcycle, the sticker, the inspection will cost you $12 for the year. Other vehicles, so I drive a Jeep Cherokee. Most vehicles are going to be $20. That also includes motorhome and trailers. But then if you have a very large communal vehicle like a bus or something, the price can actually be up to, I think, just $50 or a little bit over $50 per year. It's a process. I just had mine done because mine expired in July. So we had until the end of July, take it into the mechanic, make sure my 24 points were all met, and then I came out and I had a brand new colorful inspection sticker. Not a big deal. Good for everybody. So it's all good. Number 9, this one made me giggle. So this one, and the reason I wanted to make sure to include it is because I experienced this. Okay, so my daughter is just about to turn 30. So I experienced this, 25 years ago. It was true then, evidently it's true now. And that is lots of childcare, camps, and activities, and I like the way this person put it, can feel very much like the Hunger Games. You need to stay on top of the dates for registration, participation. Certain areas can actually be harder to get into than others. And one place in particular that comes up, this is going to be for infant care. I hear this quite often from my clients. Crozet has so many families that are drawn there for good reason. It's a beautiful area, stunning location, but it creates such a demand cannot be met. So this commenter said it very much felt like the Hunger Games. All right, so we are coming into the home stretch. Number 10, what could it be? What is something else that you're like, well, God, Pam, you really just sort of made this sucks. And it's, again, these are just things that I live with and everything day in and day out. We don't think about it. It's just like, you get up and you brush your teeth. So if I go out to the woods, I wear blaze orange and long pants and you just do it. It's not a big deal. But I want you to be aware before you move here and be like, Pam, you did not tell me. So what is number 10? Well, I gotta admit, this is actually one of my favorites. Charlottesville moves slower. Now, when you hear this, because I don't go, and I'm not talking to my friends, and I'm not like, God, we really move slower. No, it's not like that. But when you're coming from out of the area, you notice it because it's referring to the lifestyle and the pace of life in the region. That's all. Some key aspects that contribute to this perception. And when I was thinking about this, these are the things I thought of. And I truly believe this as well. Community atmosphere. Charlottesville has a strong sense of community where people prioritize relationships and social interactions over the hustle and bustle that is typical in larger cities. This can lead to a more relaxed and friendly lifestyle. We're not as rushed, we're not as hurried. The second part of that is going to fall into the old Southern hospitality. Our culture is influenced by Southern hospitality, which emphasizes warmth, politeness, taking time to engage with others. This can make daily interactions more leisurely and personable. And then You have the scenic surroundings and the natural beauty. You have the rolling hills, vineyards, proximity to the Blue Ridge. It encourages residents and visitors to spend time outdoors and enjoy nature. This too contributes to a slower, more deliberate pace of life. And finally, the last one I came up with was historic charm. The rich history and well-preserved architecture offers charming small town feel. Residents and visitors often take time to appreciate the historical significance and sites, to appreciate local markets, cultural events, which can slow down the overall pace of everything. And then overall, the slower pace in Charlottesville is a reflection of cultural values, natural beauty, and community-oriented lifestyle. It's all together, but this can be very, very frustrating, especially if you're from some place that is go, 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 go. And where I see this the most is response to get information, response to get a repair, response to have something built. Now, we are not island time. And if you know what island time is, because island time is a whole nother time zone. We're not island time, but Charlottesville moves a little bit slower. And is that such a bad thing? All right, well, there you go. I'm going to get back to the office. I hope I did not scare you off in our little chat. I'm going to leave you with something that I read, and I thought this was perfect because it really does encompass everything. Charlottesville is a pretty great place and could always use a few more good people. And on that note, my friends, give me a call, shoot me a text, drop me an email. Let's see if Charlottesville's right for you if you're thinking about it. I do not do rentals, but I would love to talk to you and help however I can. Hit subscribe so you don't miss any future content. Check out some of my other videos. I'm not the Chamber of Commerce. I warn you. I'm pretty frank and I am who I am. If you don't mind, I would love your thumbs up, just so I know that I'm bringing you content that you really appreciate. So there you go. I hope you have an amazing day. Thanks for spending time with me, and I'll talk to you soon.